All right, welcome back to another video in my marathon recording session. For those of you who are new, I'm Joe. I'm a Utah licensed attorney. If you are new, please subscribe. If everyone, please like and share. So today's video is a frequent flyer sovereign citizen that Van Balian has, I think, 3 videos on him. And this guy, he's out of Texas and he absolutely drives me nuts. He, he's bad. He's really bad. And here's why I think he's bad. So basically, I classify sovereign citizens, and I don't mean like you've got your standard sovereign citizen, you've got your Moors, you've got your um free man on the land, you've got whatever else. But I classify them by belief. So there's there's your fake guru sovereign citizens who I don't think actually believe it, but they make money off of it. They sell you a course. So this is your Mark Stevens. I don't think he actually believes a word he says, but he's able to make money at it, so he does it. There's oh, what was the second? There's another one, but the scariest of them all. Okay, second was the desperate. Sorry, the desperate. They don't know if it's true or not, but they're desperate and they've basically they think they've tried everything else. So what's the harm in trying this? Whether they believe it or not. And so this is like I basically you don't fall into the desperate category just out of curiosity. You fall into it either because you're so far behind on your taxes that you figure, well, I may as well try this because if it works, I'm saved. Or you have so many traffic tickets that you're never getting your license back. So what's the harm? Or you've lost your kids. You've had a messy divorce. So it sounds great that CPS is um, illegitimate. Great. So that's your desperate. But the scariest sovereign citizens of all are the true believers. And this guy might be the true believer. Now, of course, I say this the day I'm recording this. There was I haven't looked into this yet, but so I might be doing a video on it in the future. But apparently, earlier today there was a Moorish sovereign citizen involved in a police shootout over an eviction. And I think he was squatting, is my understanding. And so, that's what makes the true believer so scary because they're willing to die for their beliefs. And this guy, he gives me the bad vibes. He's got bad juju, and his voice grates on me. His arguments drive me nuts. But I didn't go with his most recent arrest video because, as much as I like ZZ Top, I like money more. And the most recent arrest has ZZ Top playing over his car radio. So if you want to see that, go watch it on Van Balion's channel, because Van does a great job. But let's watch this from one of his previous arrests. He's down in Texas. His channel name is Rebel Chaser or something like that. Don't watch him. Like I said, go watch Van for his other videos. But let's jump into it.
Yeah, do you have power of attorney over me?
No, I have county.
Then you cannot. You have your license? If you don't have power of attorney over me, you cannot force me to do what you want. I want to.
If you don't have power of attorney over me, you can't force me to do what you want. That's ridiculous. I mean, even if he had power of attorney, he wouldn't be able to force you. It's like, let's say most of you know, my brother lives next door that way. My Oma lives next door that way. She's 94 years old. And my cousin, I believe, has financial power of attorney. He's able to do banking transactions for her, pay her bills. He can't force her to do anything. He just has banking power of attorney. But he's not her guardian. She doesn't have a guardian. So we can't force her to go to the hospital or go to a movie or go to sell her house. Well, whatever. We can advise her, but what this moron is describing is a guardianship. But why would the police have a guardianship over him or a power of attorney? That's asinine. But even aside from that, the cop, like I said, he doesn't have power of attorney. What he does have is he has the police power of the state. That's better than power of attorney. At least, for his purposes, because you.
The supervisor here.
No, not right now. You're gonna.
This is your policy, sir, to get your supervisor here, sir.
It's not.
Yes, it is. It's always.
I love this trooper or deputy or whatever. It's your policy to get your supervisor when I ask. No, it's not. Sovereign citizen. It's always your policy. It might be some department's policy, but if it's a universal policy, then it would be a law. I have yet to see that law. Sovereign citizens have never provided that law. And as sovereign citizens and First Amendment auditors love to tell police, policy isn't law. So just based on policy, the trooper's not required to get a supervisor. But I have never, like I said, I've never seen a sovereign citizen provide the law that a supervisor is required. But they always say it's your policy. But they've never provided that policy either. It's almost like they're making this up.
Always been your policy to have the
supervisor right now. If not, that's going to be obstruction because you're not allowed.
So I don't have the right by God to travel. You're telling me man is above God.
You're putting words in his mouth. He has not said anything about God. He's not said anything about being above God. But to my knowledge, now correct me, I might be wrong here. I might be wrong. I'm under the impression, though, that God did not build the roads of the state of Texas. There's probably plenty of construction workers named Jesus that built the roads in the state of Texas, but I don't think that they were built by God. Now, as the state of Texas and the political subdivisions thereof, the cities, built those roads, it's almost like they get to say who gets to drive on them and the rules for driving on them, not God. But, call me crazy.
You're telling me that that God is nothing.
Okay,
and
well,
I
I'm
have
not
to obey.
You're either going to produce it or not. Are you going to give me your license and insurance? Yes.
Why are you being like this?
No, are you
this
is
tyranny.
Are you going to produce it or not?
This is tyranny.
Okay, then I'm going to take it. Are you going to give it to me?
This is tyranny. You want it, so I do not have the right to consent to do business with you. I do not.
It's almost like this isn't a commercial transaction. You're not doing business. You are driving on the roads of the state of Texas. You have to comply with the laws of the state of Texas, and that includes carry and present. You've got to ID. I like this cop. I really like this cop. He is calm. He's not raising his voice, but he's not being distracted. I'd be a terrible cop because I'd feel the need to argue every point with this moron. But every red herring this moron is throwing out there, this is tyranny. Are you saying that you're above God? My rights, I'm traveling. The cop he's not flustered. He's not thrown off of what he is after. His response to every line of this sovereign citizen script is, I need your license and insurance. That's it.
Consent doing business with you, because if I hand you my ID, I will be doing business with you. I'll be contracting with this, because in order for you to do what you do to make money.
So I realize why police wouldn't respond like this, because they study traffic law, they study criminal law, they don't study contract law. But I would love at some point for an officer to respond when a sovereign citizen says, I'm not contracting with you. If I provide my license, that's a contract and I don't have to contract. I would love for the cop to respond, what's the consideration in this contract? There is none. I'm receiving no benefit from this contract, so there's a lack of consideration, so that it isn't a contract. It's not a meeting of the minds, since I'm using the force of the state. Because, yeah, you're right. Under duress, you can't contract under duress. Well, at least, you can argue, if I don't sign this lease, which is a contract, I'm going to be sleeping under the stars tonight. So under duress, I'm signing this. But, that's not what I mean by under duress. If I have a gun to your head saying, sign this contract, that's what I mean by duress. And using the police power of the state, that could be duress. But so you couldn't contract. But good thing it's not a contract.
This is
Are you
business.
going to comply with the law?
Okay, I will be suing you under 42, 1983.
That's fine. You have every right to try.
I need to get this home so they don't spoil, and I'm right here on the
As
corner.
long as you take.
He's got to get his groceries home so they don't spoil. So he was driving for a commercial purpose. I mean, sovereign citizens love to say it's, well, obviously it's wrong that you have to be driving for a commercial purpose to have a license. Let's get that out of the way, point blank. But I always like to play along, you know, even if you had to be driving, you know, if the state only had authority over you if you were engaged in commerce. Well, just about everything you do is in the stream of commerce. Because so the Commerce Clause is in the U.S. Constitution, and a great percentage of federal laws, because you've got to have that constitutional hook, that jurisdictional hook, to make a law constitutional, passed at the federal level. And so a great percentage of them are passed under the Commerce Clause, because commerce is expansive. It's massive. And interstate commerce, I should add. So one of my favorite cases that I would argue this under is a California case. I don't remember the name of the case, but it's one they teach you in constitutional law in law school. And the gist of the case is this was when marijuana was illegal nationwide. So not even medical marijuana in California, which is the first state to have it. So the defendant in a criminal case was growing marijuana for personal use. So completely non-commercial. Federal drug laws are enacted under the Commerce Clause. So this guy argued, my marijuana is for personal use. It is not for sale. I grow it at home. I smoke it at home. I consume it at home. It's never entered the stream of commerce. And the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court said, but if you didn't grow your own, you would have bought marijuana from the stream of commerce. Therefore, you grew it as a substitute for a commercial transaction, so we can enforce the federal drug law against you under the Commerce Clause because you would have been in commerce. And same thing in Midwestern case from the Great Depression. This is, I think this is Lochner, but don't quote me on that. No, it's not Lochner. Is it Wicket? This is a massive case. Let's see. I was close. I was so close. Wicket versus Filburn is the case out of Ohio. In order to enact price controls on wheat, the federal government said, farmers, you're only allowed to grow a certain amount of wheat in order to keep the supply low, to keep the price high. And the farmer in Ohio, he grew excess wheat for personal use, not entering the stream of commerce. Supreme Court said, yeah, but that meant you didn't have to buy extra wheat. You got to put more of your wheat into commerce by growing your personal supply. Therefore, you violated the law. So what's my point here? I realize this has been a long tangent, but what's my point? Well, I think that driving, like I can make an argument with a straight face. Like I would absolutely not fear Rule 11 sanctions for making an argument without any reason to do so. Like I would absolutely be happy to make this argument in court with no fear of sanctions, that driving is an inherently commercial activity. It's inherently commercial. You bought your car out of interstate commerce. The gasoline in your car, interstate commerce. Your insurance, although they argue they don't need it, but interstate commerce. The roads were built using interstate commerce. So it's an inherently commercial activity. Of course, the states, like the states are only held to the Commerce Clause under basically what's referred to as the dormant Commerce Clause, meaning they can't negatively affect interstate commerce in certain ways. So like one of the big cases for that is this one I definitely can't remember the citation for, but it's North Carolina apples. The state of North Carolina was giving basically protections for the sales of North Carolina apples in North Carolina, either charging less taxes or advertising or something like that. And the state of Washington, the #1 producer of apples, sued because it was negatively affecting interstate commerce, and Washington won. But as far as a constitutional hook for traffic laws, the states don't need the Commerce Clause. They've got the 10th Amendment. That's all the constitutional hook they need to pass traffic laws. That's why the federal traffic law that sovereign citizens sometimes cite, which does require interstate commerce. That's the reason it requires interstate commerce, is because it was passed under the Commerce Clause. But that's a long enough tangent. Sorry.
Giving me what I need to.
Yeah, so that way you can do more than what you're supposed to, because I have a right. I don't have insurance because I can't afford it.
So you don't have insurance on the
No, sir, because I can't afford insurance.
Well, that's a defense. I mean, I haven't looked at the Texas Traffic Code, but I'm sure there's a defense under the requirement for insurance as long as you can afford it. Of course, that doesn't completely contradict the the need for insurance. It's most states, it's the exact opposite. You need insurance unless you can afford and can prove ahead of time that you can afford to fully indemnify yourself. So like I said, I'm an attorney here in Utah. What's the big organization here in Utah? The Mormon Church. The Mormon Church self-insures. As far as I know, I could be wrong. It may have changed, but they self-insure, as far as I know. So they don't have to have insurance. Of course, they own insurance companies, but if you can afford insurance, you should probably be riding a bicycle.
Expired and with insurance on the public.
Well,
so if it doesn't come back confirmed on the insurance, we're going to be towing it, and you're going to have to take your things and walk. Give me a moment.
I want the supervisor here. You got your ID. I want the supervisor here.
All right, and that was a two-parter, so what is it? That's the one I want. Let's take a peek at the second part of the
She is
two-parter.
already contacting the supervisor.
That's fine. I was on the phone with her, but she's calling the tow truck for me. So if you want to get your...
But I need to be able to get these home, and I can't walk with them home because they're, because I got all my tools in the truck.
You can't drive with the truck. It's not legally allowed to be on
the roadway. But
he's got all his tools in the truck. So I hate to keep harping on this, but if he's got his tools in the truck, is it because it's his work truck? Is he maybe a handyman of some sort? Because, like I said, like even under the sovereign citizen mythology that you have to be driving in commerce, if you're a handyman driving your tools from job site to job site, that's driving in commerce.
What was your articulate, reasonable suspicion to pull me over? That's not breaking the law.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It is not a law. It's a policy, sir.
No,
it is a law. And a Texas state judge recently just ruled that no one needs a license to travel.
Citation, please. Oh, you don't have one?
I am traveling. This is not a commercial business vehicle.
Okay, that's not going to be argued here or there. So you're going to take your groceries and you're going to come out here. I'm going to give you your citations. You're going to be free to go, but the vehicle is not going anywhere. So start gathering your stuff and then meet me in the back.
My means of work, and you're ruining my life.
It's his means of work. So it is commercial. I mean, like, they're wrong. Sovereign citizens are wrong. But if they could be consistent in their wrongness, that would be great.
Life. So y'all can make money.
No, you could have gotten...
No, y'all got all this going so y'all can make money.
Okay. I already told you what I need you to do, and if not, then the food's going to go with the truck when the tow truck gets here. But this is not going...
This is demonic.
This is not going home.
This is demonic.
Okay. Make sure you get all your things
ready.
This
is demonic.
Here in a moment. I'll be back with
you. You're acting...
Did you hear how worried that cop was that this is demonic? Okay.
Like a demon.
No, I'm not.
Yes, because you're stealing my property because I'm not doing something that the imaginary state has no power to do.
The imaginary state that built the non-imaginary roads.
This is bullshit.
Your argument is complete BS.
The imaginary state has no power. Imaginary state can't make laws.
Then why did you pull over? If the state has no power, why did you pull over? Is it possibly because they have power?
You know, this is just a load of bullshit. I can't work because you're gonna take my tools. So I got a job tomorrow and I can't work. So you're gonna steal my stuff so you can make money off me so I can get it back out. You know, I gotta pay the tow truck and y'all are having it towed. I gotta pay everything when y'all are doing this. This is just illegal. A state judge. Y'all don't listen to the state judge. Y'all do not listen to the judge.
What's the judge's name? I mean, you haven't provided a citation, but what's the judge's name? Which judge? It's just some nebulous state judge?
The judge says I have a right to travel without a license. A state judge of Texas.
Besides which, he says it's the imaginary state. So is that an... no, I get it now. It is an imaginary state judge because it's an imaginary ruling. So he is actually being consistent on this one.
Y'all don't care about what the judge says, huh? It's just all about money.
Which judge? Let's see.
Laugh it up, whatever.
Oh, I
God's
will.
got your number.
What do you know? Missed call from God, right there.
Are the keys in here still?
You know, God's got your number. You know, this is wrong. I have a right by God to do what I'm doing. And y'all are just stealing my vehicle so you can make money and help your whoever make money too off me.
Do you have house keys you need from there? I just need the card.
This is not right. I'm suing.
Let me see the card.
I got to get it off there, please, sir.
All right.
I mean, damn.
You gonna sue in front of an imaginary judge too? Maybe get that same judge that gave the imaginary ruling about your right to travel on the imaginary roads by the imaginary state of Texas?
Nobody is act like this to you. But, you know, if we was to be able to pull y'all over and take what that is ours, because our taxes pay for that.
You know, I pay taxes too, right? So
yes, I pay taxes.
I know. And
I
so do
pay your
so,
check,
and
you're
pay
making
equal taxes.
Yes, but you're making money off of me, and you're making money off my off taxes.
Directly.
You know,
and
yeah, but it goes to the jail.
State? It goes to
the state, the imaginary state that does not exist.
You're living in the imaginary
No,
state.
I'm living in America. I'm not living in a state.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, the imaginary state of Texas, it's imaginary. I don't live in it. I live in America, which by the United States is every bit as real and every bit as made up as the state of Texas. It's It's a body politic, or it's a geographic area of land with defined boundaries that how is Texas made up, but America isn't?
Yeah, imaginary states made out of the mind of a man. You just imagined it, and then they implement it, and everybody says, "Okay, I agree, it exists,
Yes,
and I'm gonna let it all happen." And
thank you.
You know,
and that imaginary state built those roads. Oh, that. Now, do you guys see what I mean? That guy drives me nuts. Just, ugh. I absolutely think he's a true believer. And despite him driving me nuts, I'm going to, as my next video, which for you guys should come out probably tomorrow, but I'm going to, because it's my marathon, record it right now. It's going to be him in his shack ranting. Should be good. So, but before I go off to record that one, please like, share, subscribe, and do all the fun YouTubey things. And I will see you for a mind-numbing rant tomorrow. Bye-bye.